You're actually on privately run grounds, so it's a police station.
Ah, I see.
If you'd like to come to the public area,
would that be privately run on the basis that it's publicly funded?
Yeah, but that's not relevant to the fact that it's public infrastructure.
It's highly relevant. Hold on. It's highly relevant.
You're trespassing on the police station.
Okay. Is trespass a civil or a legal matter? Is trespass a civil or a legal matter?
Do you have a request of the police?
Yes, answer the question. Is trespass a civil or police matter?
Do you have a request?
I'll answer the question for the benefit of my viewers.
I think what you're here to do is to ask silly questions.
It's a civil matter. It only becomes a police matter when it's aggravated trespass.
If you could
you do me one favour just to carry on with this consensual conversation? Provide me with three forms of address.
Provide you with three forms of address?
Forms of identity, my apologies.
I think you are asking some irrelevant questions.
And I'll do it myself.
Oh,
look at your rank. Oh, dear me, you know better than that, sir.
I think you're asking questions which aren't relevant.
Here we are, on duty, covering identification.
I'm not going to do, because you don't...
Could you, for the benefit of the audience, say what those two diamonds represent in your rank?
What they represent is that I'm asking you...
The inspector opens by calling it private property, then immediately waves away the fact it's publicly funded because that detail ruins the line he's trying to run. When that doesn't stick, it mutates into an accusation of trespass. And that's where plodding along pins him down properly. Trespass is a civil matter unless specific conditions apply. So asking whether it's a police issue or a civil one isn't clever. It's basic. At the same time, he's refusing to give his own three-point identification and is actively concealing his ID card, creating a one-way interaction where demands and assertions flow outward, but accountability is kept out of sight.
Do you have a reason to be on
Right now I do.
premises?
Right now I do. It's to identify you.
As we haven't met, I'm wondering why you're being so hostile.
Then introduce yourselves.
Come to the public area.
If we played police bingo today, we've got hostile, private ground when it's public. A lot of people ticking boxes at the moment. It is cliche corner, isn't it? Stick within the bounds of the law. Identify yourself. You're in uniform. That's a second formal offer. You have the opportunity to redress your error.
Have a silly conversation
for the third and final time before it goes on record.
Of an office building.
On the record for the third and final time, will you identify yourself while you're in the course of your duty?
What I'm not going to do.
Yes or no?
Is I'm not going to give you permission to
put you're not identifying yourself. This is no longer a consensual conversation.
Onto the internet.
I will take it up with your superiors.
You don't have permission to put that video on the internet. You don't have my personal permission.
Tell me the law that precludes me from doing it.
You're not in a public place.
Tell me the law that precludes me from doing it.
I'm telling you that I'm not giving you personal permission to put any video onto the internet.
Don't need it.
But just so that you know.
Did you watch the Twin Towers come down?
That is relevant.
Did you watch the Twin Towers come down?
Goodness me.
Did you?
You're one of these. Okay.
Oh, one of these. Bingo time, boys. Here we go.
You're going to tell me that the police knocked the Twin Towers down or something like that?
No, don't be silly.
The hostile label comes out the moment the inspector loses control of the exchange. Nothing about plodding along's tone changes. He's steady, measured, and asking simple questions. But that calm becomes a problem when it can't be bullied into compliance. Then tops it off by claiming he needs personal permission for the video to go online. That's not a mistake. It's an attempt to invent authority where none exists. Officers don't get veto power over footage just because they don't like how they look on camera. When an inspector starts making up consent rules and calling composure hostility, it's not about public order or professionalism. It's about an ego reacting badly to being exposed.
Public place, and we can keep talking.
There we go.
At the moment, there's people who are...
Did your constabulary put these council painted lines down?
They have no relevance to public roads.
They're public. It's publicly funded.
No,
1972 Criminal Justice Act, Section 33, implied rights of access.
There are signs at the front
which I've read and I've recorded and narrated to, and I haven't been anywhere.
You're an angry man.
Anywhere that I shouldn't be.
Who doesn't like public services.
Do you think personal insinuation is the way for a senior officer to behave?
This is an observation. You seem to be very angry.
Angry?
You're here on a police station. You clearly don't like the police.
Would you be delighted if your rights were violated? Would you be delighted? No, you wouldn't.
Very argumentative, and it's far less.
That's a crime, isn't it? What constitutes authorisation? I'm asking you now, as a member of the public. I work in a public service.
I think that you've got a general dislike of the police.
I work in the public service.
Okay.
Telling him to move to a public area is where the inspector really ties himself in knots. Plodding along points straight at the double yellow lines running past the station. Markings laid by the council enforceable under public highway rules. You don't get those on genuinely private lands. Then PA goes one step further and brings up Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act 1972, which recognizes lawful access in places the public are ordinarily entitled to be. The inspector doesn't engage with that at all. Instead, he retreats into name-calling, repeatedly branding PA an angry man. That's not leadership, and it's not authority. It's a senior officer reacting emotionally because the legal footing he tried to stand on has just been kicked out from under him.
Came to where you worked to start arguments with a hostility towards what you do.
They'd be allowed to film, and I'd have to identify myself. Firstly, identify yourself as you're
the reason I'm
obligated to do. The reason you're not going to because you're
here
acting
with an axe to grind, and you don't like
speculation overruled. Speculation overruled.
Give you public service.
See how this will pan out in court. Speculation overruled.
This won't end up in court.
No, it won't, because your side will settle before it goes there. To make a formal complaint about your lack of identification. I'll take it to the relevant body.
But I'm not in public.
I beg. You're on duty.
I'm always on duty.
Exactly, and you have to identify whether you're in plainclothes or not.
I'm not in a public place.
Yes, you are.
I'm not dealing with the public.
Remember,
you are on private property. So what I'm not going to do is
this debate we're taking
give
up
you
by
a name
solicitors
to put onto the internet for your angry website where you don't like public
angry
services.
website. Classic. This geezer.
You don't seem to have any questions. What do you want from this interaction?
Who am I speaking with? You're now obligated under
you're
two
behind a
rationales.
sign that says
Two
no
rationales. Your code
unauthorised
of ethics.
access.
Your code of ethics. And your policies.
Please
you're on
tell me
duty.
about the code of ethics.
I think it's the other way around. You need to adhere
Well, you're
to.
giving
Look at
me
your
all the
senior.
facts.
Look at the ranking
You're
here.
giving me
Look
all
at the
the
rank.
facts. What would you like
Look
to?
at the rank.
What would you like to
This is
talk
how you
about?
behave.
What would you like to achieve?
They always say shit travels downwards, don't they?
Well,
this is where the inspector fully abandons any pretense of professionalism. He refuses to identify himself, not because of risk or operational need, but because he claims PA doesn't like public servants, an irrelevant emotional excuse that has nothing to do with his obligations. Dislike isn't misconduct, and it certainly doesn't suspend an officer's duties. Then he doubles down by hiding behind the same broken claim that he's on private property, as if that magically switches off accountability. PA nails it by pointing out that under the police code of ethics, identification isn't optional. It's a requirement tied to transparency and public trust, not location or mood.
sensitive site.
Sensitive. Put some soothing lotion on it then if it's sensitive.
So you're funny as well as interesting.
Brilliant, aren't
Every
I?
one of your viewers will find this fascinating. Just don't walk towards my staff because, unlike me,
Your
they're not
staff?
they're not used to people who dislike the police wandering round. Hello, hi. Do you have some identification? You do. If you could wear it when you walk around, that would be very useful.
This is a conversation you're having from a man who refuses to identify, so just take note of the hypocrisy from a senior member of your staff.
If you have no reason to be here, then I'll ask
Just
you.
see
I'll
the
ask
rank
you to
hypocrisy of
leave,
your comment then.
because I'm going to challenge them if they don't have a reason to be here.
Yeah, you reply one rule to them and not to yourself.
Dislike for the police.
That's a...
I don't know why you dislike the
I'll
police.
tell you what that is. That could be construed as slander.
Well, my observations, my personal opinion.
Whilst on duty. You're not here to enforce personal opinions, you're here to enforce the law.
You
Thank you
seem
very
to
much
be-
for saying that on
You
camera.
seem to
Thank
be
you.
rather
Thank
angry.
you. Thank
Please
you.
don't
Thank
walk
you.
towards
Thank you.
where people are working.
And what happens if I do? Sorry, let me rephrase. What happens exactly when I do?
You're well aware that it's
Doing as we speak.
it's a complicated practice, isn't it? It's not a clear principle.
Labeling the station a sensitive site is just another latest-stage justification dropped in once everything else has failed. If it were genuinely being treated that way, the standards would apply across the board. Yet staff are walking in and out without visible ID, and it only becomes an issue when a camera is involved. PA calling that out as hypocrisy lands cleanly because sensitivity isn't selective. What really sinks the inspector is how openly he lets personal opinion drive the interaction. He isn't enforcing a clear rule, boundary, or power. He's enforcing how he feels about being filmed. PA's point is deadly accurate. Officers don't get to police vibes or preferences, only what's actually enforceable.
Unauthorised access.
You know full well why we have that. Because of the dangers that police officers face.
Here we go.
And because of the hostilities from people ranging from casual, camera-wielding, angry people who don't like society and have a problem with public services.
I work in
through
the public
to
service.
violent acts.
This is brilliant.
Through to violent acts.
Am I
to
committing a
police
violent
officers.
act?
No, that's
Am
why
I
I said
intimidating
through.
you?
So that range.
Am I intimidating you?
If you'd like to be famous, I suggest you come up with some content that has a purpose, or ask a question that you think you might get an answer to.
You're less than Wayne
Populist
Couzens.
rants like this, citing.
You're less than Wayne Couzens.
Bits of information.
Less than Wayne Couzens. He identified.
Now, if a police officer is on duty in public, I'd expect them to identify themselves. I've had to cut
On
out
duty's the key.
because you've brought your angry rhetoric against public
On
service.
duty's the
These are
key.
people who work
On
here,
duty's the
aren't
key.
Dragging out the dangers of policing at this point is pure misdirection. General risk isn't a substitute for specific grounds, and PA cuts straight through it by asking the only question that matters. What violent act have I committed? The silence that follows says more than any speech about officer safety ever could. You don't get to project the worst things you've seen on the job onto the person standing in front of you just because it's convenient. That move turns real danger into a rhetorical shield, something to hide behind when there's no lawful reason left to interfere.
they? These officers may identify themselves because they're on duty. They're in uniform.
You're in uniform.
No, you've come to my office.
So
I
what?
don't face the public.
You
and
are
I work
now.
in an area that none of the public
You're
have
facing
access.
a member of the public right now,
So
but you have
also
no
then
right to
move on
remove me.
No, I said that I'm not going to.
You have no right to.
Well, let's talk about
You've
it
argued
in private,
trespass.
in a
Trespass.
public place.
Trespass is a civil matter.
It is,
If it's aggravated trespass, you're
standing
more than
in
welcome.
front of- you're standing in front of a building
Said building.
which you don't have a right to stand in front
Standing.
of. And the moment you start
Untrue.
intimidating staff coming in and out
I'm not
of the main
intimidating
exit
anybody. That's
by
a false
your
accusation.
presence,
You're making a false
then
accusation
it
on
will become
record.
an aggravated trespass.
You're making a false
You're
accusation.
standing in front of the double security door
False
to some
accusation.
infrastructure which carries a risk and a
False
threat.
reporting is a
If
crime
those
under the
staff-
1967
if those
Criminal Act.
staff
You do
are
realise that, don't
intimidated
you?
by your presence, then you'll find yourself liable to be dealt with under aggravated trespass,
Yeah.
which is a criminal intent. So I'm going to leave you with the officers who are on duty.
You're going- for final
while you
time,
try
you're going
and
to-
intimidate my
Are you
staff with
trying
your
to-
angry
for the final
rhetoric, which
time?
we've heard so many times.
Then learn the
It's
lessons.
called conspiracy
Learn.
theories.
You're a nutbag.
And people are very
Are
enthusiastic
you going to
about
identify
it.
yourself, sir?
No.
Accusing PA of intimidating staff is the inspector's last roll of the dice, and it's a reckless one. There's no conduct to point to, no interruption, no obstruction, just filming and standing still. Yet suddenly it's being dressed up as aggravated trespass. That's a serious allegation to throw around without facts. 'Cause aggravated trespass requires deliberate disruption, not imagined discomfort. This is the inspector upgrading the accusation precisely because everything else has failed. When ordinary filming won't stick, it gets reframed as menace. He's no longer enforcing the law. He's abusing it.
Building, then you may be committing an aggravated trespass because through
Who's the injured party?
harassment and
Who's the injured party?
If you let me finish,
Who's the injured party?
If you let me
Who's
finish.
the injured party?
I will answer that question with words.
Member of staff.
If you'll
They're on
let
duty.
me-
They
if you
cannot be
let me-
harassed,
if
alarmed,
you
and
let me-
distressed.
If
No.
you let me,
We've played
if you
bingo
let me
before.
Stand out
And they're
the
on
front.
duty.
If you stand out the front, intimidating them to prevent them doing their lawful activity,
If-
coming to work,
if
then you'll
speculative.
find yourself liable.
Have I committed that offence?
You'll find yourself
Am I suspected of committing
You'll
that
find
offence?
yourself liable to
This lawsuit's
to
going
aggravated
up and up
trespass.
and up, isn't it?
I will wager you've never filed a lawsuit in anyone. I will wager.
And that's on record, folks.
I'll leave you with these officers.
Please don't
Go
circle
and enjoy
around,
your
sir.
YouTube channel. I hope your viewer likes watching it. Please leave the
Would
premises.
you like to identify yourself?
No, sir.
Floating. He may be committing aggravated trespass without pointing to a single act is the giveaway. That word may does all the work. It lets the inspector hint at seriousness without carrying the burden of proof. PA doesn't argue emotion. He dismantles the structure. Who's the injured party? Who's been obstructed? Who's actually been stopped from doing their job? There's no answer because there isn't one. Staff on duty don't become victims just because someone is filming nearby. And suspicion doesn't manufacture harm. What really exposes the weakness is how the allegation collapses under basic scrutiny. Aggravated trespass isn't about annoyance or discomfort. It requires intent to disrupt lawful activity. PA forces the inspector to confront that gap. And instead of filling it with facts, the response drifts back to hypotheticals and tone. That isn't enforcement. It's fishing. When an allegation can't be tied to a person, an act, or a consequence, the power being invoked exists only in the officer's head, and the ending seals it. Faced with questions he can't answer and claims he can't sustain, the inspector doesn't resolve it. He retreats back inside. No warning, no action, no follow-up, just silence. That's the final exposure, the moment authority realizes it's been bluffing. If you found value in this breakdown, make sure you like the video, share it, and subscribe to support the channel and help keep this kind of accountability in the spotlight. I'm the Audit Assessor. This was episode 13. See you guys later.